What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video, and today's video is a little different. Alright, I haven't really talked about this show on my channel before, and if you know me though in real life, you would know how much I absolutely love Stranger Things, bro. Like how I even got the shirt on right now. You know what I'm saying? And I even wear this shirt sometimes in my video. So maybe some of y'all didn't know how much I maybe love the show, just based off, you know, how much I wear the shirt in my videos. But yeah, man, I am a freaking nerd and a loser when it comes to the show, okay, bro? Like, I feel like I know every little bit and piece of this show, bro. Like, I absolutely love it. I've watched the series like multiple times at this point, dude. Like, and I'm even watching through it right now to get ready for season 5. So but yeah, pretty much what this video is going to be is just me ranking season 1 all the way through season 4 and giving maybe some theories and predictions about what season 5 will do and maybe how it'll end and just stuff like that. So, and I will be ranking my favorite episode in this whole series and my least favorite, you know, episode in the whole series, which if you're a fan, you probably already know what it is. But without further ado, let's get right into the rankings here. So I'm gonna say this before I rank any of these, okay? I know if I put any of these in my least favorite, like, okay, I also say this too. Before I get started, I want to make one thing straight. None of these seasons are below a C or below a D, right? C and D, this tier, they don't even exist, okay? It's really just B, A, and S because that's how good the show is, okay? But even with that, I know I'm going to get flamed for my opinion, no matter which one I pick, okay? And I feel like especially the one I'm gonna pick, people are gonna flame me, bro. So I guess I'll just get straight to it, man. My least favorite season in the whole series is season 1. No, okay, I'm joking, bro. I'm joking, bro. You gotta be smoking some type of crack if you think season 1 is the worst season. You're not a Stranger Things fan. I don't care about your opinion if you think season 1 is the worst. I don't care, dude. Yeah, man, this season is pretty high. Let me just say that, okay? But my least favorite season, I'm gonna get hate for this, man, is season 3. Look. Yo, I know I'm gonna get flamed for this, bro, because I was watching like another video of someone like ranking the seasons and he put season 3 at his least favorite. Bro's getting flamed in his comments, bro. Absolutely destroyed. So look, okay, let's make it a civil place, okay? Let's just try to understand my reasonings, okay? And like I said before, I still absolutely love this season, okay? I just think there are things about it that the other seasons do better, or just I think the other seasons are just better in general. So yeah, I guess I'll start with the negative part of this season, sorry. And that's the mystery and the detective work in this season, bro. I'm sorry, in my opinion, and I just feel like this was facts in general. This season has the worst detective work and mystery out of all the seasons, bro. Like Nancy and Jonathan going on an adventure to try to find out why rats are acting out. You think that's more interesting than a lost boy in another dimension? Yeah, I don't think so. Or like demodogs digging under the ground, or they're trying to find out why Will is acting the way he's acting. It's like, no way. Some rats are more interesting. Or Hopper and Joyce trying to find a underground Russian base. Like, do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Now, I'll say this, okay? The show's set in the 80s, so the Russian thing, though this is another kind of negative part I have about this season, is the Russians. It's still kind of, the time period is kind of appropriate for it because, you know, it's like the 80s, so, and all that issue was happening, so, you know, I get it. But it's still ridiculous as well that there's somehow a Russian base under a whole freaking wall that no one knows about, but okay. Right, and that leads me on to the next point I like about the season is how the hell did 4 children, 2 children, 2 young adults, somehow sneak their way into a underground Russian facility? What are we doing, bro? They snuck into Fort Knox and they somehow got out. Like, what are we doing here, bro? But you know, again, I'll give it a little bit of grace because even the show acknowledges how ridiculous this is, right? Like when they have Alexei at what's his name? At Murray's place, you know, Hopper's like, oh, how do we get in there? Like, I'll go in there, like, you know, and then he laughs and he's like, bro, you're so funny. You literally can't get in there. We have the top engineers there. We have the top security there. There's no way you can get in. And even if you do get in, you're not getting out. So, you know, at least Alexei says that, and they kind of, you know, and the writers understand how ridiculous it is, because right when Alexei says that, they cut to the kids just chilling. just chilling in the base. So, you know, again, I'll give it a little bit of grace for that, but at the same time, it's still ridiculous, right? So those are my main gripes with this season. As well with this, I feel like season isn't really scary at all, right? Like, you know, or at least as scary as it can be, because season 1 had like scary aura to it, bro. Like it was kind of freaky a little bit, you know, and season 2 kind of the same thing. Season 3 doesn't have any horror elements. That's what I should say. It doesn't really have any horror elements at all to it, right? The only thing that's scary is like the flesh flare. If is that what we call it? I don't know. The flesh flare is honestly horrifying, bro. And yeah, well, okay. There's also another. You know what? I'll get to that later because that's actually a positive. So I'll get to that later. But there's like one really good horror element to this season in one episode. But yeah, in conclusion, you know, I feel like, you know, the detective work, the mystery isn't really there, and it's not as strong as the other 3 seasons that we are going to be talking about. And just how hokey it is, like with the Terminator Russian guy. Like, yeah, what are we doing here, dude? It's just funny. It's hokey. It's kind of corny, but I think that's kind of the point what they were going for. So I do kind of respect it because they did go balls to the wall. So I kind of can respect that. But that's my negatives out of the way. Let's get on to the positives because there is a lot of good things about this season, man. And I think my favorite part of this season is really just the action, dude. Like the action in the production, right? Kind of go hand to hand a little bit. Like the production and the action in this season are better than its predecessors. Right, like let's just talk about the production real quick, dude. Like the season 1 to 2 jump, you could tell season 2 did have a, like, you know, budget jump, like you could tell, but it still felt like it didn't have the craziest budget in the world like season 3 and especially like season 4 did. And I know that season 5 is gonna have. Didn't it cost like 500 million to make season 5? Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway, you could tell the production value is so much higher in season 3, and that just makes the show more, you know, is more enjoyable to watch, obviously. I will say there is a certain, like, you know, magic to season 1 because it doesn't have that budget. They kind of have to, like, be unique and creative with some of the things for season 1 and even maybe season 2 in certain aspects. But yeah, season 1 has a lot of charm, which I think I do love it because it has so much charm. But you know, this production is just insane, bro, and I love that about this season. It was just such a big jump, right? So, and the action, like I was saying, the action in this season, Jesus Christ, it's so amazing. Like the fight, and there's 3 fight scenes that stand out in my mind. One is obviously like the climax fight with the mind flayer where they're throwing fireworks at it. Love that scene. It is so visually pleasing, just them throwing fireworks and colors everywhere, and the mind flayer or the meat flayers, you know, just freaking out. I absolutely love that scene. The second fight I like is when Hopper and the Russian Terminator are fighting for the second time in the basement of the house that they find Alexei in. I absolutely love that fight. It's also a funny part in there where Joyce is like, Hopper, here's the gun, throws it across the room. I think that's so funny. That's also another positive I'll talk about later, is the humor in this season is so good, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I absolutely love that fight with Hopper. It's so entertaining. And that's when we get Alexei as a character, and I absolutely love Alexei, so shout out to him. And then the other one that comes to my mind is the Billy fight scene in the sauna. Oh my god, I absolutely love that scene. I guess I just love that scene in general because the fighting is good in that scene, because I love how he has like the weight on his neck and he pushes it off and it almost hits 11. Dude, the mind flayer is so strong, it's crazy. And like combined with also Billy's strength, it's just a walking tank that man is, bro. But I love that scene. That really kind of showed you how intimidating he was in that season. Like it was kind of crazy. Yeah, those are 3 fight scenes that I absolutely love in this season, because they're just choreographed really well and acted really well, and it's just amazing, man. Oh my gosh, wait. Oh, how am I forgetting the best fight scene in the whole season? Hell, possibly, okay, not the show, I'm tripping. In the season is when Hopper is when he's at the festival and the Russians are trying to catch him, and he's like in that room where there's like, I don't know, like punching bags off the ceiling, and he's just, first off, he's just dominating this Russian guy, just punches him in the face, throws him against the wall. Crazy. But I love that fight scene, or the build up to it, because of the audio. Oh my god. I forget the exact audio that's, because like it's used in a way where the Russian goes into the room and like there's an intercom and it's talking And it's like, it's pretty much warning the Russian, something's gonna get you. It's gonna pop out and it's gonna hurt you. And then right when recording on the intercom says, and then he jumps out and gets you, Hopper gets out and he like punches him in the face. I absolutely love that build up and the audio to that scene. It is so amazing. And then the mirror scene with the Terminator guy and Hopper. Jesus Christ, yo, that scene, just the mirror, is so visually pleasing and so cool. And I just love it. Also love the last fight scene in the show with Hopper and the Terminator guy. He has probably one of the most gruesome deaths in the show, where Hopper throws him in the machine and he like gets torn apart. Crazy. I absolutely love it though. So yeah, I love the fight scenes in this season. They really amped it up in this season. That's why I'm praising it so much. It's like, season 4 has better fight scenes, I think, but season 3 just upped the ante for fight scenes in the series, in my opinion. So shout out to season 3 for that. Another thing I like about this season is how funny it is, which all the other seasons don't have. Like season 1 and 2, they didn't really have funny, like as much funny moments as 3. And then after 3, 4 didn't have any funny scenes. I don't even remember any. It was just so serious the whole time. But season 3 had some really funny scenes in there. Like I was talking about when Joyce had the gun and she threw it across the room. That shit was funny. Or when Hopper and Joyce are talking like at Joyce's work, and Joyce is like, man, you just need to have a heart-to-heart with Mike and Eleven. And he's like, heart to heart, what's that? There's certain scenes where I actually just bust out laughing. Like the scene where Murray's like, man, y'all just need to stop arguing and get it on already. I can feel the tension, bro. Just go to the side of the road and start banging, okay? Let's get it over with. I absolutely love Murray, dude. But yeah, I think the humor in this season is the best in the show. And honestly, it's going to be the best in the show, period. Because I know season 5 isn't probably going to have any humor. So, and like, the humor also in the show is placed very appropriately and well. It's not like weird and out of place. I love the placements where they put the humor in some of the scenes. So yeah, shout out to the show for that. That's definitely something this season has over everything else. Another thing that I'll praise a certain episode and a certain scene about is a horror element. Now I know I said that season 3 really didn't have any horror elements to it, but the horror element it did have that I really liked was the hospital scene where Nancy and Jonathan were gonna meet Mrs. Driscoll. I think that's her name, just the old lady, and they get to that part of the hospital and everyone's dead. The lights are flickering, there's blood everywhere, and then you see Nancy's, like one of Nancy's bosses, walk out of a room and he looks horrifying, dude. Oh my god, dude. Both of them look horrifying. And how they're just running from these horrifying, they're not creatures because they're still people, but horrifying people, dude. Like it's great. I love that cinematography in that scene. I love it. It's horrifying in all honesty. But talking about Nancy, that's a perfect segue into another part I love about this season, and really just the show in general, but I feel like season 3 really hit it home with this topic, is how they write their woman characters, bro. Like, and I hate that I even have to talk about this, bro, but like unfortunately the film industry and just really like the entertainment industry as a whole, but I feel like the film industry is really bad writing female characters. Looking at you, Disney. What a joke. No, but Stranger Things doesn't have that issue because they actually write their female characters appropriately, right? And they actually give them character. You know what I mean? And I feel like the epitome of a good written woman character is Nancy Wheeler, right? You have other really well-written female characters, like I think Eleven's written really well as a woman character. Max is also pretty well done, Robin as well. But I feel like Nancy is the best representation of what I'm talking about, especially in season 3. The first scenes you see of her is her at her job and how shit her coworkers treat her. They treat her like she's trash because she's a woman. But you know what I like about how they go about it is they don't shove it in your face. They don't actively show you how horrible these men are to her. Like, you can, obviously they're horrible to her and you can tell, but they don't shove it down your throat, They don't have to, consistently tell you how bad these men are, And I like that about this season in general, is that how not on the nose it feels how she's getting treated by her shitty men coworkers. But there's 2 scenes that really hit it home for me, where Nancy and Jonathan get fired from the job because they think that the old lady was a schizophrenic at the time, so their boss fires them. And the Nancy and Jonathan are in the car and they start arguing, And then Jonathan's like, I can't believe I went along with your stupid detective game or whatever, you know, try to beat this case, you know, and you should have just left it, Nancy, because look, I get it for you. You can just get another job, okay? But I can't, okay? I have bills to pay. I have things to do, okay? You were brought up on a silver spoon. I don't have that luxury. You know, I shouldn't have been following you in this journey that you were going on. And I think I'm paraphrasing a little bit of the scene, but then Nancy just says like, well, you don't get it. Meaning you don't get how it's like to be a woman trying to prove yourself. And I like that scene so much. We know what she means by that when she says it, and she doesn't have to say it ever again for us to understand it. And I love it. That's how you treat female characters, dude. That's how you do it. Honestly, one of my favorite scenes in the show, in the series, in the season, oh my god, sorry, is when Nancy gets fired and she walks into her parents' house and she starts talking to her mom, Karen, and they just have a really good like 5 or 10 minute scene where they're just talking about what just happened and how hard it is to be a woman and try to prove yourself as a woman, but they don't, you know, like I've been saying, they don't shove it down your throat, you know. And that scene is so well written, dude. I don't know who wrote that scene, don't know if it's one of the Duffer Brothers, but dude, they cooked writing that scene, man, whoever did. And that's how you write female characters, dude. It's empowering in a good way, dude. That's how you do it. You know, when Karen says, you've always been a fighter, you've always been that way ever since you were a kid, and I don't know where you get it from. And then she's like, I get it from you, mom. I get it from you. And she starts like getting emotional, and I'm like, damn! Like I start getting emotional even though I don't like relate to any of their struggle they're going through, but I still absolutely love that scene, and it's one of my favorite scenes in that season. But yeah, the last good thing I'll say about this season is the ending. Oh my god, up to this point, out of all the seasons we have so far, this is the best ending the show has ever gotten. Dude, that Hopper note where he actually did write a heart-to-heart to them, oh my god, dude, it gets me emotional every time. Every time, dude. You know, it's just a very emotional scene in general, but man, it just doesn't connect to the characters in the show, but it also can connect to you as a person. And bro, it connects to me as a person so much, you know, and it gets me. And I think it gets a lot of people too, and that's why they absolutely love that ending. Yeah, man, I think up to this point, season 5 hopefully has a better ending than season 3. Up to this point, right now as we're speaking, this has the best ending in the show, and it's not even close. So yeah, man, even though season 3, I have some gripes about it, I still absolutely love the season, and it does, you know, hold a special place in my heart, like all of these seasons do. It's just this one is my least favorite. But anyway, moving away from season 3, my third favorite season in the whole show so far is season 2, and it is A tier, bro. Now, I know a lot of people would put this below season 3. I don't think people would put it in a C, but they would put it in a B tier. I just don't agree with that, bro. Now, I will say, you know, there's a certain thing and a certain episode where I know why some people may put it below season 3, because literally an episode is useless. I'll talk about that later. But besides that episode that doesn't even matter to the story, you can literally skip it, I think it is just amazing. And it's honestly just an elevated season 1 in certain aspects. And man, up to this point, if I'm talking about negatives, dude, I don't even know if I really have a lot of negatives going forward, except for what I'm going to be talking about right now. And that is my least favorite episode, not just in this season, but in the entire show. And that's episode, is it 7? Lost Sister? I don't know what episode it is. I don't care. This is the worst episode in the show, and it's not even close. What the hell were y'all thinking, Duso brother? What are y'all thinking? This episode sucks, dude. And you know what makes this episode so bad? You can literally watch season 2 and skip that scene and nothing, it doesn't affect the story whatsoever, dude. Whatsoever. The only thing that changes is Eleven's, you know, outfit. That's it. That's it. But yeah, dude, episode 7, Lost Sister, is god-awfully trash, bro. Right, and a lot of people may say, oh, why would you put this below season 3 then if it has an episode that you entirely skip? Well, that's because season 2 has like 9 episodes, where usually all the other seasons have 8. And why season 2 has 9 episodes is because they wanted to put the Lost Sister episode in there to try to just test the waters to see how people would like it. That was a good choice because it was garbage, and it literally just doesn't help the story and move the story forward in any way. So at least they gave us another episode to test the waters, right? At least they did that, because if this season had 8 episodes only, which would realistically only be 7 because you would skip one of them. I don't know if it would be A tier. In all honesty, I think it would be B tier. I think it would still be above season 3. Oh, I don't know, actually. Lost Sisters so bad, bro. But because there's one extra episode in the season, it literally saves it. But besides that episode, okay, I absolutely love this season, man. The mystery is there. The horror elements are still there in the show at this point. The detective work is cooking in this season, dude. Like, what I also love about this season is the jump to a Demogorgon. You know, that was already pretty horrifying enough, to a, like, 30-foot shadow monster, dog, that possesses Will, and dude, I love the design of the Mind Flayer. It is so iconic, honestly. It has the most iconic design on the show. That's not even a hot take. Vecna looks cool and all, right? You know? But the Mind Flayer is definitely the best looking designed character in the show, hands down. Right now, what I still do like about this scene as well is there's still upside down elements. I forgot to say this in season 3. There's like no upside down elements in season 3 at all. There isn't any. Oh my god, that's crazy. And that's, you know, I guess that's another reason why I don't like it as much, because the upside down is like obsolete in that season. But season 2, unless I'm forgetting, but I don't think I am because I literally just watched it. Let me know if I'm wrong, but season 2 still has heavy upside down elements to it and just adds new monsters, which is amazing. Doesn't have a Demogorgon in it, but it has the Demodog, so I'll let slide, it's fine, you know, and I love the Demodogs. I think they're cool, so. But yeah, and you know, I'll say this, I think the show is at its absolute best when Will is the main character. When Will is off to the side like he is in season 3 and season 4, it's not as good. I'll say that. Even though, well, okay, that's kind of an oxymoron because I really like season 4 and Will's kind of a side character, but I like when he's like the main focus of it, because at the end of the day, Eleven and Will are the main characters of the show, and when the writers are just writing around Will, I absolutely love it, bro. They cook every time. And I love how they go about trying to figure out what's wrong with Will. Like, I love Dr. It's not Brenner. I forget the name of the doctor that's trying to help Will. But I absolutely love this character, and I love the whole, like, you know, story arc with Will's character, how he's slowly, you know, getting possessed by the Mind Flayer, and they try their absolute best to try to get it out of him. And I love how they go about that. Especially when Will is in the shed and they're all talking about the favorite memories they have of him, and like he's looking at them and he looks really sad, like he's about to cry. But at the end of the day, when they do talk about their favorite memories with him, it doesn't matter. He says, "Where am I? Let me out of here." And I love how heartbreaking that is, because the only way to close this and to get rid of it is to literally like burn it out of him, bro. Like, they can't do it in a soft way or in a nice way where he snaps out of it. Like, no, bro, Will's almost like too far gone at this point. You need to fry him, bro. You need to cook him, dude. So, and I love that scene where Will is getting, okay, this sounds crazy, where Will is getting burned and Joyce is just like, "Get out of my son," and just turning it up. Oh, it's so good, dude. She's just, I love Joyce so much, dude. She's just also another character that's written really well. Another thing I love about this season is just Steve. You know, I feel like season 2 is definitely where Steve became a fan favorite, because in season 1, people weren't a fan of Steve. Like, let's be fucking honest, bro. And the reason is because, bro, he was supposed to die in season 1. The writers were like, yeah, you know, he was just supposed to be kind of a villain in season 1, and he was supposed to die by the Demogorgon. But then they were like, you know, we love how we wrote the character, and we love Joe Keery, is that his name? I think so much that we're just gonna rewrite it and he's not gonna die. Greatest decision that they've probably ever made. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Steve is a top tier character ever in fiction, ever. I love this season so much because they made Steve such an amazing character, bro, and the best babysitter of all time, bro. So yeah, I absolutely love Steve in this season, and how him and the kids have a really cool dynamic, especially him and Dustin. Everyone talks about how much they love this, and there's a reason why, dude. It's just amazing. You know, how Steve is giving him pointers about how to get women, or how to, you know, talk to women or whatever. Like Max, for example, like, because Dustin had a crush on Max in that season, and Steve tried to help him out with that. But just because Dustin is younger doesn't mean that he still can't help Steve figure some things out, you know. And I love that dynamic, and not even carry-ons in season 3. And again, like I said, with the detective work, I absolutely love like Hopper trying to figure out why the pumpkins are all destroyed and what's really going on. Even with Jonathan and Nancy, once again, dude, fucking power team, dude. All the way through season 1 and 3, dude, they were cooking. How they want to tell Barb's parents what really happened, but they can't. Oh, I absolutely love that scene where it's because it's so heartbreaking, bro. Because Steve and Nancy are eating, fucking Chick-fil-A, or not Chick-fil-A, KFC. And they're like, yeah, we're still in our house, so someone can try to find Barb. So Murray can try to find Barb. And she just damn near breaks down because she's like, dude, I know what happened, and I can't tell them. And it's so heartbreaking, but I love that. I love how real that is. And I love how they go about, like, pretty much destroying and taking down that hospital, or not the hospital, the lab. And that's where Murray really becomes a character, and we all love Murray here. So that's another thing, bro. Season 2 just does everything fucking pretty much perfectly, dude. What a sequel should be, even though it's not better than season 1. But it does everything damn near perfect. It makes characters just better. And that's what it does. And I absolutely love it. And this is also where Max and Billy get introduced, and those are just amazing characters, man. Like, and also Bob, man, bro. Oh my God. I wish Bob was still alive, bro. Bob is such fucking legend, bro. We all love Bob in season 2, man. And I love Bob too, because usually he's right about a lot of the things he does, and he solves a lot of the things that they're trying to solve. Like, for example, like when they're in Joyce's house, and he's like, oh my God, it's a map of Hawkins. If he wasn't there to solve it, they wouldn't have saved Hopper. All right, so most of the time he's kind of the savior. But at the same time, when he was taking Will to school, and he was like, when I kept getting these nightmares of Mr. Baldo, I would tell him to get away and stop scaring me and stop harassing me and get away from me. And the next day, my nightmare stopped. And Will was like, okay, I'm gonna try that. That's gonna work. And he does it. He says, go away. But the mind flayer gets him, dude. It gets him, dude. And dude, Will's acting in this season is so good, dude. Holy shit. I love Will's actor, dude. So it's funny, like, Bob is kind of seen as this savior in the season because he also helps them get out of the lab, because he's the only one that knows like this computer code or whatever, and he does pretty much save everyone's life. But at the same time, he almost kills everybody because he told Will to do those things, that didn't help Will. So, and again, Bob is just such a amazing character just for Joyce, because she really needed someone like that in her life, and the fact that it just got ripped away from her is just so crazy, man. She's been through some shit. Besides Will, she's been through the most shit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. And 11. It probably goes 11 Will Joyce, or Will 11 Joyce. That's been through the most ish in the show. But yeah, I also feel like the show's at its very best when all of the kids are together and they're working together. And I think through the whole season, and I think season 1 and season 2 definitely had that. Season 3, Dustin was off by himself with Steve. And I think in season 4, all the kids weren't together because some of them are in California and some of them are in Hawkins. But, and I hope season 5, all of the kids are together. At least for like the majority of the season. I would love that because, again, I feel like that is when the show is at its very strongest point. And freaking Dustin, I guess, is kind of on his own adventure with Steve, I guess. But they do meet together. Oh, wait, Dustin actually isn't with them for a lot of the season because he's off trying to deal with the Demodog he kept as a pet, dude. Dustin, bro. But besides that, I would say halfway through the season they're all together, so that's nice. And that's another thing I also like about this season is Dustin just trying to get along with, I guess he didn't know it was a Demodog until it looked like one. But I like that bond that he had with it, and even after he knew it was a Demogorgon or a Demodog, whatever, like when he sees Dart in the tunnels, if Dustin didn't take care of it and didn't, feed it nougat or whatever, they would have died there. And I think that's just, again, it's another build-up scene that I absolutely love. And yeah, and this show also gives a little bit more, like a little bit of how the Upside Down and his creatures work, about how they're all a hive mind, and if you hit one, all of them get affected, which I think is really cool. Like that scene, oh my God, bro. The scene where they find the tunnels and they're burning the tunnels and Will is like having a seizure on the ground. Dude, that scene disturbs me. I think a lot of people think Will's face in that scene is kind of goofy when he's like literally practically burning alive. They think it looks goofy. I think that looks horrifying, dude. And like I said, they kind of expanded the Upside Down a little bit, but they still kept it a mystery, which I absolutely love, because in season 3, again, the Upside Down even really wasn't a story point in season 3. But then in season 4, they really expand on it in season 4, which, you know, I absolutely love that they expanded even more. But when it's still a mystery like it is in season 1 and 2, it's great. You know, we all love a little bit of mystery, you know, so. And you know, I heard in season 5 that they're going to explain what the Upside Down really is, which I'm fine with if they explain it well. If they didn't even explain what it really was, I wouldn't even be mad, in all honesty. But that's a topic for another time. But yeah, you know, there's just something about the atmosphere in this season that I absolutely love, dude. And the mystery and the detective work, like I said, is a super big element of the show that I love, and that's why I think it's above season 3, is because of that element alone. So yeah, I love season 2. I know a lot of people, I think this is their least favorite season, because I've also heard a lot of people say that, you know, it uses a lot of elements from the first season. Like they reuse Joyce's house for like practically the same reason, you know, like the lights in season 1, you know, it's kind of like the tunnels are kind of the same thing, or like the tunnel drawings Will did, or it's kind of the same thing. But I don't even really mind that, honestly. I get that people have a problem with that, and I guess I respect that, but I don't mind it at all, you know. So I do really enjoy that, and I like that a lot. You know, and one thing I will say that I do also like about this season that kind of bleeds into the really bad episode and what I don't like about this season is in season 1, obviously we know 11 was trapped in that lab for her whole life, and she was a prisoner practically there, right? And the moment she broke free, right, she was out for a little while until Hopper found her and took her in. And you know, on the outside we're like, oh, that's so nice that she's staying with Hopper, it's better than that lab. And it is better than that lab. But what I like about what episode 7, The Lost Sister, does is at the end of that episode, what I can remember is the lady makes 11 envision Dr. Brenner, and that scene is practically just telling her she needs to break free from his mold, his control over her, because he still very much had control over her in season 2. Not because he's still physically there, but because Hopper is doing what Dr. Brenner did in season 1. He's keeping her captive there in that little cabin for like a year, almost like a year and a half, maybe a year. I think it was about a year, but practically doing the same thing Dr. Brenner was, not to the same worse extent, but still keeping her captive. And we know why Hopper's doing this, and we know why, and a lot of us would do the same. You also understand where she's coming from, and I do love that parallel of the cabin kind of being the lab for 11 in her eyes, and I really do like that about episode 7 and what they address in that episode. But besides that episode, Lost Sister sucks ass. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I also don't know, did the Dussault brothers like retcon that episode? I don't know, because they haven't talked about those characters again, which thank God. If they're in season 5, I'm turning the TV off. But I don't know if they retconned it or not. But yeah, I just love the parallel of the season where Hopper is practically Papa to 11 in season 2. Not really, obviously, but you know, that's kind of what it is. She sees Hopper as Papa to a certain extent, and she even says that, you know, she's like, you are like him, you are like Papa, and Hopper's like, really? I'm like, that's the psychotic son of a bitch. Right? And they say it right there, like they put breadcrumbs right there. And I love the writing in this show. It's just brilliant, man. But there's also things in season 2 that I absolutely love that I'm probably just forgetting, but I think I got most of the points I wanted to say down. You know, the theming, like I said, kind of in the season 3 point, where I love that it's set in October. That's just the best setting for Stranger Things, is like, you know, spooky season. You know, when it's like 4th of July, it doesn't fit the theme for Stranger Things, you know. And I don't know, you know, the feeling I get watching Stranger Things season 2 is just the atmosphere, and like I said, the detective work and the mystique I love way more in season 2 than season 3. So amazing season, absolutely love it with all my heart. But now, up to this point, we have 2 more seasons left. And I'll tell you this right now, both of them are going in S tier. And my second most favorite season in Stranger Things is season 1. How could you not put season 1 in S tier, man? It started the whole universe. It started everything. It showed the characters. It showed everything. It showed how brilliant this show was. And like I said before in the season 3 portion, like this season 1 just has a certain charm to it that the other season 2 does have a little bit of charm to it, But season 1 has the most charm, and charm goes such a long way in a show for me, and I think for a lot of people as well. That's why they put it so high. And obviously, you know, when you first start a show and, you know, the foundation is really good, it's hard to top a season 1 in any show because they set the ground rules for what the other seasons are going to be like. So what I like about this season is, you know, again, like I've been saying 1,000 times in this episode, the detective work from Hopper in this season is absurd. He's probably honestly my favorite character. Also with Nancy and Jonathan, you know, they start their relationship. They're not together yet, but they start their relationship there, and I love the dynamic they have in season 1 and how they're trying to catch the monster. They don't catch it, but they beat it up. So I absolutely love their team up and how they figure out that it's like an apex predator and it smells blood and that's how it comes out of the wall. But yeah, out of all of the seasons, dude, this is the best detective work. This is why I put it at S, dude. It's because Hopper, dude, I get chills every time, but especially the first time I watched it, when Hopper found out that Will was a fake, like it was a fake body. Oh my god, dude. That scene is literally peak, bro. Actually an insane scene, bro, and how he just like knows something's going on, but he just keeps going deeper and deeper before he finds what's under the surface. And I just love Hopper in this season, dude. He's the best character. I'm sorry. And I also like Dr. Brenner in the, you know, he's the main like villain in this season. I do really love his character, and it's super mysterious, you know. Even after season 1's over, you're still like, dang, like this man's done a lot of messed up ish, bro, and he's still kind of mysterious, you know, and I love him in season 1. Though I will say my only negative I have about season 1 is like I thought Dr. Brenner was dead. You know, I think we all were until season 4 came out, really, honestly, because the Demogorgon literally like tackles him to the ground, bro. But I guess he didn't die. Okay. But yeah, I absolutely love his character, and just love Eleven's backstory. I just, it's so dark and messed up, her story, and they just write it so well, man. It's, Jesus, it's sad. It's really sad, bro. And obviously you're always on the edge of your seat about what's happening to Will in this season, and then every episode you're wondering like, what's gonna happen in this episode? Where is Will gonna show up, or are they gonna find a lead? Like it's so good, and I love Will in this season. Even though he's not really in it a lot, his presence is so strong, obviously, because he's the main focal point. But man, you're always on the edge you see on this season, man. Always. And this is probably, out of all the seasons, this is the one where you're always like, what's gonna happen next, bro? Because literally, Will dies in like episode 2 or 3, bro. You're like, what? But Joyce was just talking to him in the lights a second ago. Like, what's happening, bro? And that's another part I love about this season, dude. The lights in Joyce's house, iconic. Dude, oh my god. That scene where she puts up the lights and she like writes on the wall and Will is talking to her and Will says run. Oh my god! Peak, bro. Peak writing, man. And, you know, and I also like about this season is just the Demogorgon and the monster in general, how mysterious, you know, it is, you know, like you knew nothing about it or why it was doing what it was doing for a long time. Hell, we don't even know why it was doing the things it was doing. We're gonna find out soon in season 5, I guess, why it took Will and all that, but you know, it was just so mysterious and such a cool design for a monster, so iconic, and it was a presence. The Demogorgon is horrifying, you know, and like, again, like the characters, bro, like they just build all the kids, they write them all so well, they're all so engaging, they all act really well, and yeah, man, I don't know, the really strong parts about this season, like I said before, are the detective work and the mystery, and this is damn near the pinnacle of the show's entirety, is season 1 with its detective work and its mystery. I don't think it will get better than this season, in all honesty, dude. It won't, which is fine, because season 4 is my most favorite season in the entire show by a landslide, in my opinion. Bro, this season, dude, is so freaking good, bro. And like I said about season 3 to season 4, the jump in production is out of this world, dude. Like, it's insane. The fight scenes, the cinematography is just so insane. How they explore the upside down. This is why this season is higher than almost all of them, is because they explain kind of what the upside down is, or not even what the upside down is. They just give it more lore and backstory, which I absolutely love, dude. Like, the upside down is such a focus point in this season, and that's why it's so good, because when the upside down is in this show and it's the main focus, it's pretty much at its highest point. So in this show, it's just covered in the Upside Down, bro. I absolutely love it, dude. And obviously, you know, season 4 introduced the best villain in the show, and that's Vecna. And he is such a good villain with a amazing backstory, with a scary, horrifying backstory, dude. And this is also why this season's higher too, is because season 1 had that horror element to it, but season 4 also has that horror element to it. Not as well in season 1 not as better in season 1 in my opinion, as I should say, but it still has that horror element to it, 100%. And I hope season 5 has that horror element to it as well, because dude, when it has that, it's so peak. But anyway, and honestly, dude, I don't have any negatives. The only negative I have is just the cringiest part in the show. Oh my god, dude. Probably one of the cringiest scenes I've ever seen in my life, where Eleven, oh god, this is horrible. When she's at school and she's getting bullied, and she said Erica, wait, no, not Erica, Angela, and she like does this and she yells at the camera. Oh! I skip it every time. I've only watched it one time, and that's when the show was coming out. I've always skipped that scene ever since. I can't watch that scene without cringing, dude. Like, it is so bad. But that's probably the worst, you know, critique I even have about this season. This season is literally S tier television, 10 out of 10 television. It's literally insane. Season 2 had my least favorite episode in it with Lost Sister. Season 4 has my favorite episode in it with Dear Billy. Oh my god. I don't even know if season 5 is going to have a better episode than this. I mean, it could, but dude, it's going to have to go crazy, because episode 4 felt like a finale of a show. It was literally that good, and it ended so amazingly. Like, oh my god, it was so amazing. And like, you know, I haven't talked about this yet in my video, but how they use the music in this show is so amazing, dude. And this is just the pinnacle. Like, season 4 is the pinnacle of how they use music in this show, dude. Like, just the significance of the lyrics of Running Up That Hill has, like, if you listen to that full song, and I think everyone knows this, how Max feels guilt about it should have been her that died except for Billy, and how Running Up That Hill goes is, if I had a meeting with God, I would tell him to swap our places. Like, dude, oh my god. It's so heart-wrenching, and it's so just emotional and amazing. That song is so perfect for Max and her story arc in season 4. And bro, she's honestly like the main character in season 4, dude. Like, she is so amazing in this show, dude, in season 4. Like, I think she honestly should have legitimately died, because what the hell is she gonna do in season 5? She's just gonna be laying there? Is Lucas just gonna be carrying her around? What is she gonna do? If she's not a vessel for Vecna to control her mind, but she can't because she's literally brain dead, what is she gonna do? I don't know what she's gonna do, dude. But anyway, she is such an amazing character. And that scene, this is the best scene in the show, is where she's running from Vecna and the song is playing because the music helps her to escape from the reality she's in back to real life. Oh, dude, peak fucking cinema, dude. Oh, and again, like, season 3 was planting the seeds for season 4 episode 4, because, you know, like I was saying about the sauna scene for Billy, like, you've seen how much Max really did care about Billy and vice versa, but season 4 really shows how much she did care about him. And I love that, because she's just living with this grief for the entire season. And I also love how Vecna, he feeds on that. He feeds on the grief. He feeds on such disturbing things. And I love that about his character and Vecna's character, bro. It's so dark and it's so amazing. I absolutely love it, man. And again, dude, the fight scenes in this season, they're the best in this season so far. Like, season 3 had great fight scenes in it, you know, like I was saying, but season 4 has amazing fight scenes. Like, bro, I think the one that really stands out to me, where there's 2 like military secret agents at Joyce's and Jonathan's house, and they're protecting the kids there because they don't know if someone's going to come get them or not. Eventually they do, and that, it's like a one-shot scene, and I'm a sucker for shows or movies that have a continuous one shot for like 5 minutes. It's like whatever, like an extended period of time. And that scene, I don't know how even long that scene is. It's like a literally like 5 minutes, 6 minute scene of just the agent gunning them down in one continuous camera, like just no cuts. And it's so good. That fight scene is so amazing, dude. Right, and obviously, you know, the fights with Vecna are also amazing fight scenes, you know, like the one in the snowball. Oh my god! Cinema, that fight scene, so good. I absolutely love that fight scene in the snowball. Also, the fight scene with Lucas, I forget the kid's name. the jock guy that's on the basketball team, and Lucas fights at the end to protect Max. I love how close Lucas is to almost losing, but he gets the upper hand, and then that guy gets like his body ripped off because they lose, because Max practically dies, so the whole town gets all messed up and he just gets split in half. Oh! So good. And that's another thing I like about this season, dude. And I know it's season 4 and they haven't lost yet because we don't know what happens in season 5, but I just love when the main characters lose in something, right? And they definitely lose in this season. Like, they try so hard to try to not lose and get the upper hand. And even though they kind of do get the upper hand on Vecna to a certain extent, when Nancy gets up to Vecna and shoots him with a shotgun and they throw fire at it, you know, like, you know, at the end of the day, didn't matter because it still got her. So that scene where they're shooting Vecna, oh god, such a good scene. Also one of the best fight scenes in season 4. Oh my god, why am I forgetting these scenes? Is where Hopper kills the Demogorgon with the sword. Oh, what are we talking about right now, man? He just slides under the Demogorgon, cuts his hand off, and then cuts his head off. Oh my god, the aura, and then Murray just burning it with fire. Absolutely love that. Also love that storyline of, you know, Murray and Joyce trying to go find Hopper in Russia. Love that story aspect and that piece of it. I absolutely love it, man. I think it's great. I love when Hopper is so good in that season in the jail, dude. I love those scenes and that storyline. It's so good. And it was so satisfying when he got home. Oh, and 11 didn't know he was dead. Oh, that scene is so good. I'll say this, Dussault brothers, if you kill Hopper practically for the second time, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna slap you, dude. You can't do that. Hopper has to live, okay? You can't pull a fast one on us again, okay? Let's not do that. You know what? I will say this. One thing I potentially won't like in a season, and I guess I'm kind of talking about season 5 now, oh god, is if Steve and Nancy get together in season 5, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed off. I know some fans are like, oh, I want Steve and Nancy to get together in season 5. I want them to kiss. Shut up! No, that is not how it's supposed to go. Steve and Nancy's relationship just didn't work out, and that's okay. That's life. Shit happens, okay? I want Nancy and Jonathan to have a good life, okay? And I get it, like, y'all were heartbroken when Steve was like, I just want a normal life in a van like this and have kids and travel the world with an amazing wife. Well, I'm sorry, buddy. She has a boyfriend, you know what I mean? And I just don't want y'all to smash in season 5, or I don't want y'all to kiss in season 5, bro. Like, please don't. I beg you, please don't do that. But look, if that doesn't happen, I don't have any gripes about season 4 and why I'll have a gripe with that is because that was just a seed they planted in season 4. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, no. And because it looks like Nancy's like, like, no! Nancy? You don't like Steve, dude. You don't like him, okay? Move on. Like, don't do this to the fandom, okay? Stop. Another thing I guess I don't like about season 4 is some of the characters, like Jonathan. What the hell does he do? Can you remind me what he does in season 4? Oh, he's sad that he can't go to the same college that Nancy's going to. That's it. And I get it, that's sad, but what else does he do? He doesn't do anything. He gets the van, I guess. Calls up his pizza homie. That's it, I guess. Yeah, Jonathan is just thrown away to the side. Same thing with Will. What are we doing, man? It's like the Dussault brother, I can't say it. The writers were like, okay, we have to save Will for season 5 so he can't die. So we're gonna let him not do anything. We're just gonna make him sad that Mike isn't gay. That's you know what I mean? Practically what that is. And also another thing, I swear to God, if Will and Mike kiss in season 5 and they get together, I'm fucking never gonna watch the show again, honestly. And it's not because they're gay. I don't give a fuck that Will's gay, okay? I don't give a fuck. I actually like how they write Will's character and that you know he's gay from season 1 because of the little hints they give you, okay? All the way up to season 1 to 4, they give you hints that he is, okay? But Mike has probably already smashed 11 and he loves her. What are we doing thinking that he's gonna turn around and kiss Will? No! This fandom needs to stop. I'm sorry, I love this fandom, but sometimes y'all are ridiculous, dude. Let's not let this happen. They can have an emotional scene together, but don't make them kiss. I'll fucking slap you. I'm sorry. Let's not do that, dude. Because you know Will's gonna die in season 5. You know it, you know. Come on. What are we doing here? We know he's gonna die, right? You know, he's gonna be laying there. Mike's gonna go up to him. He's like, no, come on, Will, you're okay. And then Will's gonna be like, no! Swear to God. I'll be pissed. If season 5 does that, it's a C. I'm kidding. Anyway, though, yeah, I'm probably forgetting some things about season 4 that I absolutely love that I'm not remembering. Oh, I love the adventures that Nancy and Robin and Eddie go, and Dustin go into the Upside Down. I absolutely love that. And again, like, you know, they kind of explain the Upside Down a little bit more in this season. I absolutely love that. And when, oh, this is also amazing. When they go to like the mental asylum where that guy is that survived the Vecna attacks, I love that Robin and Nancy were so good at they just broke the case. Like they knew what to do next. And I love how they went about that scene. And I absolutely love the hospital scene, dude. Or the mental asylum scenes. They're so good, man. Again, another, you know, reason why this show writes amazing female characters, because it's on your face. You know, Nancy and Robin get it done. They get it fucking done without some bullshit writing. So, and why I also love the season, the Demogorgons come back so hard in this season, bro, because up to that point you haven't actually seen them in action for years. Like, you saw it at the end of season 3 in the end credit, right? You saw it like crawl out and then stand up, but that was it. You haven't seen them attack someone in a long time. And bro, they're so ruthless, dude, in season 4, right? And that's honestly the first time you ever really see them kill people with full efficiency, dude, like an aggressiveness. Because in season 1, it's so weird. The Demogorgon in season 1 is so different from the other ones in the other seasons. And I think there's an explanation for it somewhere. I remember seeing that somewhere, but I forget the explanation was for it. But it's so different from the other ones, right? But man, just seeing the season 4 Demogorgons kill everybody so easily and like throw them like, you know, 10 feet to the air. So sick, dude. And again, bro, Hopper's just so good in the season, bro. He's like, I'm not eating this food, bro, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to get fat so we smell like food, so the Demogorgon gets us and it's fully fed. You know, I'm not giving them that. I also shout out to the pizza guy. I forget his name. The high pizza guy, the pothead guy. Love that guy. I think he's awesome. He's funny, man. I hope he's in season 5. I haven't seen any promo that has him in it, but I hope he's in it somewhere. He doesn't have to be a big character. He can be kind of like a little character, but yeah, I absolutely love his character. I think he's amazing. Anyway, again, probably missing some things about these seasons that I absolutely love, but kind of running low on time here, so I kind of gotta, you know, move it up here. So, and I'll talk about some season 5 theories I have, and some concerns I have. I've already talked about some of the concerns I have about Nancy and Steve and Mike and Will. My number one concern is just, I want them to land the plane, man. I want them to, like, just finish this season with such an amazing ending that it honestly makes me cry, honestly, dude. I hope it's better than season 3, man. I really do, because it deserves that ending. It really does. And you know, I can't say their name right now, bro. The writers of the show said they wrote the ending to the show like 7 years ago or something like that, and so they've had it planned out from the beginning, and I really hope that they land the plane, like Hopper's been saying, you know, or David Harper's been saying. So I hope that they do, because it deserves it. So, but yeah, some of my theories for season 5, dude. I feel like I've seen no one talk about this, though. I'm pretty sure people probably talked about this theory before. But dude, it's pretty obvious to me that Will is gonna have like superpowers in season 5, dude. It is blatantly obvious to me, dude. Right? Because number one, he's literally like a main character in this season. Thank God he's doing something. Thank God he's doing something. But he's like a main character in this season. And literally, dude, I rewatched the seasons again, obviously, like I said before. Dude, let me break this down to you, dude. Because in one of the trailers, you see Vecna like engulfed in flames. How is he getting engulfed in flames like that? Like, that has to be a big ass flamethrower for him to be like, holy shit, that's a lot of fire. That's not a flamethrower, dude. That's Will shooting fire at him. There's no way, okay? Also, another worry I have is, how are they gonna explain that he has powers if he does? I don't know. I digress. Anyway, here's the thing, dude. Watch me cook here, okay? And again, I haven't seen any theories about this. I literally just made this theory up in my head. Okay, really watch this. The first time you see the kids in season 1, what are they doing? They're playing D&D. And what are they doing? They're fighting the Demogorgon. Or they're fighting the big boss. They're fighting the big bad guy, right? And they're fighting him, whatever, and it comes down to Will. Will has to either defend the party with a shield or whatever, or he has to cast Fireball and try to kill the Demogorgon or Vecna in this scenario. And what does he do? Well, he throws Fireball, but I guess in the first scene, you don't know if he gets Fireball or not because they can't find the dice. But in the end of season 1, they go back to that story and that campaign, and they get back to the same exact spot they were And what does Will do? He throws Fireball. And guess what? He kills Vecna. And guess what Mike does, dude? I guarantee you this is how Vecna's gonna die. Will's gonna shoot a Fireball at Vecna to save everyone. And you know what's gonna be crazy? If Dustin is trying to save everybody. Dude, oh my god, I'm geeking out right now. Because Dustin was saying to Will, you have to cast protection or we're gonna die. But then Lucas is like, you have to shoot Fireball, dude, to get at him. If Dustin is like getting everybody out of there and then he tries to get Will out of there, but then Lucas is like, you better shoot Fireball at him, I don't know, I'm a freak out. Because okay, at the end of the day, I think that scene from season 1 literally told us the ending of season 5. Literally, dude, it literally told us from damn near 10 years ago. Because Will's gonna shoot a Fireball at it and Vecna's gonna die, like how Mike was saying. He's gonna collapse on the ground. He's gonna have his hand out like this, and then he's gonna die. Dude, okay, if this doesn't make any sense to you, watch that scene back. Look up the first scene of the kids in season 1, or just go on Netflix and watch it. And that's literally how season 5 is gonna end, I guarantee you. Or the last big fight will end. I guarantee you that's how it's gonna end. Actually, in the first scene you see them, Will shoots Fireball, and then Will says the Demogorgon got me. And then the Demogorgon proceeds to get him later on in that episode. But in the end of season 1, he casts Fireball and he kills Vecna. So I think they've been telling us how this is gonna end for the longest time. It's just been right under our nose. And we're gonna see how it ends, man. And that's how I think it's gonna end, with Will's gonna save the day with Fireball, right? Because this whole series, Will has been getting saved. Left and right, he's been getting saved. But now it's his turn to save everybody! It's his turn, man! So, man, I am so hyped for this season, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. Hell, like I said before, I want to know what they're gonna do with Max. I don't think they're gonna do anything, but if they do, I'm interested. I wonder what they're gonna do, because I don't know, because she's brain dead. Because 11 went into her mind, and it was all black, so don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, and they also, another thing they said is, they're gonna explain why Vecna picked out Will in particularly, like, because he said in the first 5-minute thing, if you don't want spoilers. But it's not even really a spoiler, because this is like, you know what, it's not even a spoiler. He said, we're gonna do beautiful things together, Will. We're gonna do beautiful things together. But why did he need Will, though? Obviously, there were other people that Vecna or that Demogorgon captured before, because there's bones in there. So he needed Will for a certain reason, but we don't know why. Right? So I'm excited to see how they explain that and how they're going to explain the Upside Down, because they're going to explain what the Upside Down really is. So again, I'm excited to see what that is, but also kind of scared, because honestly, like I've been saying, they can leave it how it is and that'll be fine with me. But if they explain it in a really good way, that just makes it better, man. So, but yeah, anyway, season 5, I'll just do this. What do I think season 5 will be? I think it'll be the best season. I think it has a lot to live up to, but I think it's going to live up to it. And I'm so excited to see what they're going to do. So anyway, y'all, that's today's video. And sorry if I was all over the place. I kind of have a time constraint, so sorry about that. I tried to get everything out that I could. Again, I'm probably forgetting some things. But that's why you have a comment section, is so you can correct me on certain things, or you can tell me certain things I maybe forgot, or just tell me your opinions in general, what your favorite season was, and or what your favorite episode was. So, but anyway though, y'all, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You don't know what to do. And yeah, have a good day. I love y'all, and peace.
Getting live in the hatchback. Ass up, world star with the clapback. Young man with a plan, it's the campaign. Mommy wants some rose, no champagne.